Hi Gearheads, welcome to another episode of Dan's Garage. Today we are working on the 66 Chevelle. We are going to be introducing you to a really cool tool to help with welding holes on the firewall, and also all the protective gear you need to get the job done. Hey Dan, run that intro!
So these are the holes that we're looking at. They're right next to my master cylinder, behind the engine on the driver's side. May have some on the other side as well, but these are the ones we're going to be looking at right now. As you can see, I've disconnected the wiring and taken it off the firewall. I do have the hoses there in the way, but we're going to remove them and give us full access, and then we're going to go ahead and lay some welding blankets down to protect the engine and the surrounding areas from splatter. Here's a little tip. As you can see, I left the screw in for the trough that holds the wiring. That's a good idea so you don't weld in a hole that you end up needing. So if there's any screws or any mounting holes that you do need, I recommend putting something in there so you don't weld it closed. So these are the 6 holes we're looking at. A little one on the top left, and then the top right, the 2 big ones in the middle. You got another small one on the bottom, and then there's a bigger one on the bottom. So the top 5, I'm just going to be welding with a plug welder with a backing on it, and I'll show you that in a minute. And then that bottom one, I'm actually going to cut a piece of metal and weld that in because it's a little too big just to fill with weld. On the inside here, you can see I've removed the emergency brake pedal housing and the speedometer cable in order to remove or separate the firewall padding and insulation from the firewall. And I'm going to also put some protection on the inside here for weld splatter because some of it may come through. So this is the welding blanket I bought. I got this from Harbor Freight, not too much money. It's a 4x6 welding blanket. Shows a guy welding, and it's got all these protective stuff on it. So we're going to be using this. And I also got these 12x12 little felt welding pads. Got them off the internet. They were pretty cheap, so hopefully they do their job. So this is a special tool I wanted to show you. It's by VIM Tools. It's a magnetic plug weld tool, and what it is it has a copper plate on it, so weld will not stick to this. You put this behind the hole, and then this is a magnet, and it magnetizes onto the steel, and then you can go ahead and have a lot of travel so you can adjust it to where you need it. I'll show you how it works right now. So I'm going to show you this on the outside of the car because it's easier to film. So you just place the copper part over the hole and let the magnet stick on, and then I'll show you how to adjust it. So after you got it in position, you just tighten up this wheel, and that'll take care of the contour and the distance between the copper backing and the hole that you're welding onto. And once you got it nice and snug, you can weld it from the other side. One-handed operation. Got the car covered to protect it from splatter and welding. Also got the engine covered with a welding blanket. We're going to go in and grind down the metal to weld. Okay, I got my felt pad on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and prep the area for welding. So there's the first one. Even though it was a small hole, maybe didn't need the copper backing tool, but you'll see on these bigger ones where it will definitely prove itself useful. Now that the welding is done on those spots, we're just going to grind them down, smooth them out, and give them some paint. Alright, now I'm going to go with the big grinder to go ahead and grind down those welds. Alright, ground down these 5 weld spots and got them fairly smooth. I'm just going to spray over that when I'm all done with this last hole. If you're doing a restoration or customization project, you may want to do a little bit more welding, a little grinding, make it look nice and smooth, get rid of all imperfections, but that's not this project at this time. Alright, so the welds are ground down. I'm going to spray it with a little bit of this trim black because I don't want it to be shiny. I want it to kind of blend in with the rest of the firewall since I'm just painting this one little area. You want to use light coats and a couple of them so it'll turn out better in the end. So here's the final product. As you can see, the dimples resemble the rest of the dimples on the firewall once everything's put back together. Unless you know what you're looking at, you probably wouldn't even notice it. Anytime you're spray painting, when you're done, you want to make sure you spray out until it cleans out the nozzle and then store them upright. That way you make sure that you'll have a nozzle working next time. Okay, so with everything back to normal, you can see that you can barely see the work that was done, and especially when you zoom out and look at the whole engine compartment, I don't think anyone will ever be able to tell. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. On to the next project.
Well, that's it for this episode. You can leave comments below, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell so you get notifications when new videos are uploaded.
So thanks for watching, and until next time, stay positive and keep on wrenching. So I'm going to show you this on the So I'm going to show you this on the outside just because it's easier to film. But basically you just want to place the So I'm going to show you this on the outside of the car because it's easier to film. So you just place the Alright, ground down these 4 Alright, so here's a close-up with everything. Wait a minute. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. On to the next project.
Yeah, I totally messed that up. I said we were going to be introduced to help weld. I skipped the word with. Just keep this as the outtakes, okay? Video, send it to my phone, video it. I don't care. Do it.